Rough and tough. What's in store for Bad Boy Brown?
Well, he's in trouble.
And who's the game's original bad boy having a crack at?
You're going to get more remonstrations from players, especially me.
Sports Tonight. Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Phelan. Tonight things aren't looking quite right. Groovy, baby. Why, these cool sharks are looking more like hammerheads.
Probably coming a good time, something to brighten everyone up a little bit.
Why is this superfish going from Playboy back to the pool?
To know you have a Commonwealth Games in your home country, I mean, it's going to bring even us older guys back out of the woodwork.
And the Wallabies walking wounded and wounded pride.
It's always tough on confidence. You know, when it's there, it's great, and when it's not, you've got to work hard to get it back.
Fiery Hawk Campbell Brown's season is over, and he'll also miss the start of 2006 after the AFL Match Review panel suspended him for 4 matches for striking. Ian Cohen has all the details.
Yes, good evening, Ryan. It seems that Campbell Brown, well, he had almost a one-man personal war with Matthew Lloyd on the weekend, but the Hawks are burning the midnight oil tonight, trying to find some latitude in the criteria with which Brown was booked, and they've got until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to inform the AFL if they decide to contest the charge. He certainly made the most of his opportunities in this exchange, and it'll cost him 4 weeks.
A couple of little right round arms in there as well. He's in trouble. It's as simple as that.
There's no early plea available. He'll be missing until round 3 next year. And it's a bit like father, like son, with Campbell igniting memories of his dad, Mel, who was also handy with the Dukes and took on most of the Blues in this exchange in the bad old days. Only Everett and Jacobs were picked and fined out of the half-time melee.
There's a whole sandpit. A mini fracker!
Frio's Troy Cook was fined for wrestling. Magpie Brodie Holland fined for making contact with an umpire. Cat James Kelly has accepted a reprimand for tripping, and Port's Josh Franco has accepted a 1-week ban for this headbutt. And good news for the West Coast Eagles, with Chris Judd having his case thrown out. Right now to the rest of the football news, and we start with Brisbane, who are limping towards September. And the boys from the Lions are licking their wounds after their disastrous Sunday in Sydney.
We can give it up now and shoot the horses, Lee put it straight away, but we're not going down just yet. I think we've got a bit more fight left in us. Nigel Lappin returned home last night with his broken leg.
Ankle.
His ankle is dislocated and he's fractured a fibula in his left leg, but not as bad as first thought. Mel Michael's finger is only dislocated, not broken, and he's a chance to line up Saturday night against Port.
It's easy to sort of sit back and sort of say, oh, it's not our year. You know, like there's not a lot happening for us. You know, 2 games to go. Hopefully we'll finish in the finals. It's not the way I feel. As for the Sydney Swans, they aren't getting carried away with their 84-point drubbing of the Lions. Not quite ready to talk premierships just yet.
You just got to keep a little bit of a level head on it, I suppose. It was a fantastic win and we're really happy with it, but you know, we've got another tough one against North next week.
Kangaroo strongman Glenn Archer has put a new twist on the recent run of inconsistent umpiring. He's blaming the AFL Rules Committee, adamant it's not necessarily the fault of the men in white.
Unfortunately, they're the ones who cop it out in the ground. Maybe we should wheel out Kevin Bartlett and a few of the people on the Rules Committee and give them a spray.
Collingwood skipper Nathan Buckley says he'll play out the rest of the season, despite suggestions from Mick Malthouse that may not be the case.
But I don't think it's an option that we'll take. Obviously, you're pretty keen to play when you've missed half the season at the beginning.
The Demons are again putting their hand up for a finals berth with the return of big guns Brad Green, Jared Rivers and James McDonald, a major boost in overcoming the red-hot Bulldogs on Saturday night.
They're flying, so it's another elimination final for us on Saturday night. It's going to be great.
The Doggies, though, full of confidence despite a cheekbone injury to Chris Grant after their 4th straight win.
I don't think we fear any sides at the moment. As long as we stick to our game plan and those sort of things, and you know, there's no reason why any team can't beat any side on their given day.
And Ryan, before I go, former Hawk and now Tiger Mark Graham is likely to announce his retirement tomorrow, and of course we'll have all those details for you when I talk to you tomorrow. Speak to you then.
Thanks, Ian. Well, it's finals in the NRL as well, and Brisbane's premiership campaign is looking a little shaky. They seem set to play out the regular season without star Darren Lockyer. His hamstring injury is another blow to the out-of-form Broncos, who were thrashed by St George Illawarra yesterday. Trent Higgs has the latest on Lockyer and the rest of the NRL news.
Ryan, this is the time of the year each team wants their marquee players available for the big games, but Darren Lockyer could be out for up to 3 matches with a hamstring injury. He was in obvious discomfort at today's recovery session and will get his test results tomorrow.
I'm thinking miss this weekend and maybe an outside chance the weekend after, but it's not something that we're going to rush back with. Make sure it's 100% before I come back and play.
So I think it's a minor tear and probably looking at 3 weeks at the worst case scenario at this stage.
Depending on the results, Lockyer could miss the regular season's 3 remaining matches. Lockyer thinks his hamstring problem is not a tear, but a strain.
You know, I guess we've got a finals position sewn up, so it's not do or die for the Broncos at the moment. It'd be nice to get back before the finals, just to get some football under my belt.
The Broncos were outclassed at home by the in-form St George Illawarra. The 24-4 defeat was Brisbane's 3rd loss in 4 games, but they aren't panicking.
Well, I guess we're a team that's probably just lacking a bit of confidence. Although the scoreboard was, didn't sort of read too well for us, I think we weren't too far away from actually winning that game.
Berwick Barnes is expected to replace Lockyer at 5/8 for this Sunday's clash with Penrith. The Broncos may also have Casey Maguire, Brent Tate and Barry Berrigan back from injury. Injury concerns in the Dragons camp as well. New South Wales centre Matt Cooper also injured his hamstring and had tests today. Tomorrow's results will reveal the extent of the injury.
It mightn't be too bad, but we'll just have to wait and see what these scans show.
St George Illawarra's emphatic win over Brisbane is seen as a psychological boost ahead of the finals.
More a confidence builder for the young guys in our side who aren't used to playing in front of such big crowds and in a game that had a lot of hype around it against a lot of internationals.
The Dragons aren't reading too much into the tag of premiership favourites ahead of Sunday's showdown with second-placed Parramatta.
We're still come 3rd on the table, so at the moment there's 2 sides in front of us, and Parramatta did win by 50 last week, so we're going to have to play very well to beat them.
The NRL has distanced itself from the latest crowd controversy. Yesterday, 5 pitch invaders stormed onto Campbelltown Stadium at the end of the West Tigers' win over North Queensland. A female officer was allegedly assaulted, and it's been reported the police were also pelted with beer cans by drunken fans. The NRL is awaiting a report from the Tigers. The Sharks are hoping a light-hearted 70s revival at training will help their frame of mind as they fight to hold on to 8th place.
It's probably come at a good time, something to brighten everyone up a little bit at the moment.
Cronulla face Manly in a must-win game this Sunday.
We can't rely on 26 going to get us in the top 8, and it's got to start this week. We really need to get the 2 points against Manly. Vital game for us, and they're in such a similar situation to us, so both teams are going to be very desperate.
In judiciary news, Sharks back rower Cameron Ciraldo could be suspended for 2 matches for grade 4 careless high tackle. New Zealand Warriors hooker Monty Beetham faces a 2-match suspension if found guilty of a grade 1 dangerous throw, and Manly centre Steve Matai faces a 1-match ban for a grade 1 careless high tackle. Meanwhile, the Seagulls top 8 campaign has been rocked by news prop Brent Kite will be out for 2 weeks with a knee injury. Ben Kennedy has a calf injury and will get his test results tomorrow.
Well, still on injuries, and the Wallabies' injury toll is reaching disastrous levels with more players ruled out of Saturday's clash with South Africa in Perth. But Eddie Jones and George Gregan are still standing, the hierarchy resisting calls for their heads.
If you're calling for change at the Wallabies, you're about to get it, but there's no knee-jerk sackings, just an injury list growing worse by the day. Hooker Jeremy Paul will miss at least 1 test with nerve damage to his neck and shoulder. Sterling Mortlock's calf even more serious. He could be out for a month. With Matt Giteau in doubt, Lachlan Mackay was called in as cover, but you guessed it, a knee injury ruled him out. Giteau's a chance to play, but plans are in place if he doesn't.
We've still got a few backs in the squad. We've got Matty Rogers and then obviously Mark Gerard plus Rathbone there, so we'll just have a look at how we can mix and match the situation.
3 straight losses has pressure building on the coach and captain. Contracted till the 2007 World Cup, George Gregan won't be making an early exit.
And I'm still enjoying the challenge. I'm still enjoying going out there and competing and feel like I'm contributing to the teams I'm playing in. So whilst that's the case, I'll continue to play.
I'm not too concerned about my own future. I'm just worried about getting 22 players on the field.
Teammates say they aren't the only ones to blame.
I mean, the whole team feels, it's quite unjust that the team's performance
gets laid on one guy's shoulders, and Eddie as well, so two guys. I mean, there's no bigger critics than ourselves of the way we perform. So the boys really feel for him and really bonding together.
And there was another injury on Saturday night. A broken leg will keep All Blacks 5'8" Dan Carter sidelined for at least the next 6 weeks.
Still heaps more to come on Sports Tonight. Up next, one of the greatest achievements in Aussie athletics. We'll reveal why Craig Mottram's bronze at the World Championships is something very special.
And he didn't give up, he was gone. He was going to come fifth, and he's got the bronze.
English scribes are at it again. What's the latest scandal to rock the Aussie cricket team? And the elk hunt, very quiet, we're hunting majors.
Oh, look out, what shot.
One patient, two doctors.
Welcome back. Well, the Aussies continue to put England's third test celebrations on hold at Old Trafford, surviving the first session with the loss of just a couple of wickets. Andrew Flintoff is applying most of the pressure, but Australia refuses to surrender.
With the series level at one game apiece, the final shootout at Old Trafford was always going to be do or die. And right from the second over, the fireworks were on.
Ball is gone. It's gone. First ball to Hogarth. What a corker.
Just the slanted edge.
That brought Ricky Ponting to the crease, the Aussie skipper wasting no time launching the rescue mission.
That's nice timing.
He survived an early LBW appeal.
I'm not so sure. I think I'm not so sure about that.
While at the other end, Hayden only just beat a stumping attempt.
He's all right, he's back behind the line.
The full house wanted to see wickets, and Flintoff was desperate to oblige.
Oh no, it's through the gap.
And it was only a matter of time before Freddie struck.
Got him! Oh, Flintoff has produced a blinding little spell here.
The bell almost tolled for Damien Martin.
Fantastic stuff from Bell.
But he soon found his rhythm.
That's a fine shot.
Australia 2 for 121 at lunch.
Swept and swept fine.
England wanted wickets after lunch, but the umpires weren't making it easy.
Well, and yet another shout. On this occasion, not doing enough.
Until Steve Buckner ignored an inside edge to give Martin out.
Inside edge. No, it's not!
The decision angering both Martin and Ponting.
Well, you don't need us to say any more about that.
Kadich, the next man out, Flintoff striking again.
Kadich was right in the headlights out there.
Now there's just over a session still to go, and the Aussies are hanging on, but they've still got plenty of work ahead of them if they're to orchestrate a draw. Ponting producing a fine captain's knock. Now we will update the scores before the end of the show. As he prepares to tee off on the weather-delayed USPGA, Steve Elkington rates himself a strong chance of breaking Australia's 10-year drought in the golf majors. The Elk is the last Aussie to win a major and was just a shot behind Phil Mickelson with 4 holes to play when storms forced the players off the golf course.
It's been 10 years since he won the USPGA, 6 years since he's won anything else.
Look out, Steve Elkington, out of nowhere. He's been on...
So as a storm brewed around him, Steve Elkington was hoping that lightning does strike twice.
What a shot.
He wasn't the only Australian making an impression. Jeff Ogilvy is shoring himself a second top 10 finish in a major with one of the day's few subpar rounds. Tiger Woods also in the red. After just avoiding the embarrassment of missing the cut, Woods is an outside chance to win the tournament should the front-runners falter tomorrow. He's the clubhouse leader, 2 off the pace, but the likes of Phil Mickelson aren't planning a surrender despite blowing a 3-shot lead today. Elkington also troubled, losing a 2-shot advantage with consecutive bogeys just before the weather closed in. Mickelson getting himself out of strife to take a one-shot lead as officials called off play. This will be the first PGA since 1976 to finish on a Monday.
Oh, my goodness!
A slice of athletics history for Aussie distance runner Craig Mottram. Now this is him on the inside. He's in yellow and he's now the first Australian to win a medal at a World Championships or Olympic Games in the 5,000 metres, but he needed one final burst to get up for bronze.
It's going to be a time for Benjamin Lemo. I said all year that I didn't want to run a fast time this year. I just wanted to win a medal here, and you know, we did it, only just, but as I said, you know, we got there, and bronze is just as good as a gold for me tonight. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that.
Great effort. Mottram is the first non-African runner to pick up a medal in the event since 1987. Well, there's no doubting world flyweight champion Victor Chinian's strength, but his trainer and all-time great Jeff Fennick has warned him not to be overconfident against his next opponent, Colombian Jair Jimenez.
The problem with Vic is that it's great to be arrogant, it's great to be confident, but this kid is sometimes a little over. I just want him to realise that the guy that he's fighting is going to be a very, very tough fighter.
Darchinian defends his IBF and IBO belts in Sydney on Wednesday week. Up next, burning out with the bad boys of Bathurst. And what's that, Skip? You're giving away your wild ways.
It's tough. It's probably a little bit tougher than I thought, but I think if you've got the right work ethics and the right mentality about it, you know, anything is possible.
The official countdown to Bathurst is underway for the V8 supercars. The film set at Fox Studios provided the backdrop for the V8 drivers to perform their own stunts. Plenty of rubber burnt for the launch of a new advertising campaign. And Russell Ingall, fresh from winning yesterday's round at Oran Park, again showed them a thing or two. And a quick warning, we're about to reveal the winner of the Champ cars, so go away if you don't want to know. It was a wild old start, a 5-car crash on the first corner of the Denver Grand Prix. Cristiano De Mata became airborne and almost landed on top of Justin Wilson. The race was eventually restarted on lap 5, Sebastian Bourdais going on to win the race. Watkins Glen used to host the US Formula 1 Grand Prix, and there was no shortage of speed when the NASCARs returned to the track. When they weren't going flat out, they were flying into barriers. There was a regulation race stoppage before Tony Stewart showed his class again, but he led for all 9 laps, except rather 9 of the 92 laps, winning his 5th Nextel Cup in the last 7 starts. The Indiana driver taking the checkered flag, literally. In the English Premier League, Chelsea was held goalless by Wigan until a superb strike from Hernan Crespo in injury time broke the deadlock.
40 seconds remaining, and Hernan Crespo steals victory on the opening day.
At home to Newcastle, Arsenal was kept out until an illegal challenge on Freddie Ljungberg brought Thierry Henry to the line in the 81st minute. The Gunners finished off Newcastle with a second goal 6 minutes later. Well, there was a bit of a generation gap, you could say, in the final of the Montreal Masters. 19-year-old Rafael Nadal up against the old master of tennis, Andre Agassi. He's 35 now, and the American has been on the circuit for as long as Nadal has been alive. But it didn't stop him taking a set off the teenager. Nadal's young legs proved too good in the end, taking the final 2-1. The Spaniard's now won his last 16 matches. His first hard-court victory is his 9th tournament win this year. And with the US Open just 2 weeks away, Kim Clijsters' build-up is going along nicely as well. She was at her athletic best against Daniela Hanchkova in the final of the Los Angeles Open. Clijsters needed just over an hour for a straight sets win, and she's not done with yet.
No, you always have to work hard, and I'm only relaxing until I get back home after the Open.
Clijsters is now ranked 8th in the world, her highest spot since returning from wrist injury. A year ago today, Australia opened its gold medal Olympic count when Ian Thorpe won the 400 metres freestyle event in Athens. One swimmer who cheered Thorpe on from the grandstand that night was Jeff Hugel. He's committed himself to one more shot at a gold medal after some much-needed time off.
Sydney Olympic medalist Jeff Hugel has enjoyed what he calls a year of civilian life. But now it's time to dive head first back into the military-like discipline of competitive swimming. And don't think that's easy.
It's tough. It's probably a little bit tougher than I thought, but you know, it's one of those things you just got to keep chipping away and chipping away. You know, I know what the goal is at the end of the at the end of it all, and I know what I have to do to get there.
Hugel turned couch potato to watch Australia's World Championship glory in Montreal. It was while watching the likes of Hackett, Lenton, Schipper and Henry beating the best that he decided to give an all-or-nothing attempt to compete at next year's Commonwealth Games.
I had the opportunity to sit back and watch the guys compete at Montreal, and you know, I could share their pain and I could share their excitement, and I know that next year in the Commonwealth Games I want to be part of it.
While he's lived the high life, Hugel's adamant he hasn't lost his desire to win gold.
I definitely have the hunger. You know, like I was saying before, I know what it's like to compete, A, in front of a home crowd, and B, with not only the swimmers but other athletes, and to be part of that excitement again and to be part of that fun is one thing I really miss.
But Skippy's painfully aware it's going to take much more than mere hunger to be on the podium in Melbourne next year.
While it does sort of seem a bit boring staring at the black line, you have a lot going through your mind in terms of effort, skills, working on your underwaters, working on your breathing techniques and all those sorts of things.
Here to buy a car, are we? What do you reckon, eh?
No, thanks.
No? Cruise control. What do you think, sir?
No, thanks.
Let's take it for a spin.
Safety barrier.
No, thanks.
No.
She's a driving experience.
I throw in a tow wire. It's got electric window, zip zip. It's got power steering. It's got immobiliser.
I'll take it.
You take it?
I present Miss Caroline Ellis.
Take good care of my husband.
Stroke pretty much paralyzed him. Happened a month ago, up in the attic.
They've been waiting.
That was their room. You see them in the mirrors.
Watching.
You can't expect me to believe that you see ghosts in your mirrors.
Whatever they did to you, I'm not going to let them do it to me.
Now, their time has come. The Skeleton Key. In cinemas August 18.
Holden victory here this afternoon.
Hey, Scafie, is this the special edition Commodore Equip?
Yeah, it is.
Is Holden's new 5-year warranty?
Yep, with a 5-year warranty.
Over $5,000 worth of extras?
Yep, $5,000 worth of
From only $33,490.
Yeah, how do you guys know so much? Because this is our car. Yours is over there.
You can't beat the value-packed Commodore Equip, now with $2,000 worth of free fuel.
If you have trouble reading, that's something you can fix.
1300-655506.
That's the reading writing hotline.
1300-655506.
We would have lost him, for sure. It's a great service, the Flying Doctor, and we appreciate it very much. I think we've got the best system in the world.
They're the lifeline to the bush, and not only to the bush people, but to tourists that come into this area.
And if we didn't have the Flying Doctor, we'd have nothing out here.
Your donations can help keep the Royal Flying Doctor flying.
Well, it's not often I get the opportunity to experience a play of the day firsthand, but today I was lucky enough to get an adrenaline rush courtesy of the enforcer Russell Ingall. Now, it was to promote the upcoming Bathurst 1000 series. Today, punters like myself joined forces with the V8 supercar drivers in a series of competitions in a true Holden versus Ford battle. And fresh from his round win at Oran Park yesterday, Ingall was the man again today, although his performance in the big car was certainly better than the one on the novelty machine. A smoking Russell Ingall gets our play of the day. Now, just before we go, some breaking news. St George Illawarra, the NRL team, has knocked back a $200,000 windfall to shift their home ground advantage from Oakey Jubilee Stadium this weekend against Parramatta to Aussie Stadium. It would have meant they would have allowed an additional 18,000 fans, but they have decided to retain that home ground advantage at Oakey Jubilee this weekend against Parramatta. Now those cricket scores that I promised you, let's see what's happening there. At T, the score at the moment is 5 for 216. Ricky Ponting on 91 and Michael Clark is on 20. So the Aussies need 207 runs in the final session with 5 wickets in hand. So with that in mind, it's probably looking as though we're heading towards a draw. And that's another Sports Tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow. Hope to have your company then. Good night.
And put a smile